Hello and welcome to day 5 of our 5 days of heartfelt gratitude. Thank you so much for being here from my heart to yours. Today we're going to bring together everything that we've been talking about and everything that we've been learning, because you see, we haven't just been teaching your brain how to cultivate gratitude for your amazing body, your mind, your emotions, and that supportive network of people. Underpinning all of that, we've been directly and indirectly showing you that you get to choose your focus. Good morning, Debbie and Jody. Underpinning all of these learnings through the previous 4 days has been you sort of stepping into the driver's seat of your own being and understanding that you get to choose your focus. Good morning, gorgeous. You get to choose your focus. So we can so often in our lives be in circumstances that feel kind of predestined or feel like there's, good morning, lovely, that there's nothing that we can do about this situation. And in that, we're really cultivating our own disempowerment. So part of what I've been doing over part of my intention for this set of 5 days is to teach you there is so many things to feel grateful for and just build that language and the neural pathways inside your mind. But also with each and every lesson, teach you that you get to choose your focus. Because the reality is, and this is a bit of a harsh, it can sound a little bit harsh, although I try and deliver it with a lot of love. The reality is that you are not stuck in any situation or circumstance, none of it. It is never true that you don't have control over your life experience. Now, I know that it can feel true, and there's always ways of saying, like there's nothing that I can do about the fact that I lost my left leg and now I'm an amputee. So yes, right now medical science can't make you regrow your leg, but there's so many things that you can do to cultivate a positive attitude, loving relationships. Most career paths are still open. So it's not so much about arguing the point for this set circumstance, but looking at the things that you can do about kind of setting your sail to somewhere else. So yes, I want you to know that you are the boss of you. And it's a wonderful responsibility, and it's also, there's a whole lot of freedom in it. So today I'm going to ask you to think about, just choose a life area where you currently feel, let's say, out of control. Good morning, gorgeous Mel. A life area where it's a bit substandard, or maybe it's wildly substandard, but choose an area of your life that you wish was different, but you don't feel like you've got the power to change it. If you are lucky enough to have no situations like that, then just pick a life area that you'd like to be better, and you know that you could change it with time and energy. But just, I'm speaking to those of you who've got a life area. So it might be something like your finances. You might just feel like, I'm stuck in this situation because my job only earns this, or I don't have the right training, or I didn't have rich parents, or whatever your story is. Pick a life area where there's a story around feeling stuck. So it might be around money, it might be around one of the relationships in your life. Like, it could be better if he or she was this way instead of that way, but nothing I can do about it. That awful thing we say in Australia, we get when something's not so great, we go, oh, suck it up, which is just a revolting way of going, oh, well, live with it. So pick a life area. Oh, morning, Julie. Pick a life area that at the moment you have a story around where you feel disempowered, you feel a bit stuck, you feel like the solution is in the hands of someone else. It might be that you're a single mum and you wish that, do you know what I mean, you were having some of the support that you're seeing other parents have that are partnered or have got family living close by. So hopefully that's enough situations, feel free to share the circumstance you're going to work on. And if you do it while we're live, I'll be able to talk to that. But I want you to pick a life area that you currently feel stuck in. And what we're going to do is harnessing everything that you've learned over these 4 days and the wisdom that you already had before you tuned into me, because I'm sure I'm not your first exploration of your holistic empowerment. I want you to write a list of 10 ways that you could begin to cultivate change in this area. Now, initially, I understand, particularly if you're feeling stuck, you might think, well, there's nothing I can do, because if I could do something, I wouldn't be in the situation. I want you to know that is never true. There are always options in terms of your mental focus, the way that you think about it, the way that you feel about it, the actions that you can take. You are part of the dynamic of every situation that you're in. You are part of the dance. And so when you can look at the bit that you're doing, all sorts of amazing things change. And I have seen this happen thousands of times with people that I've worked with that go, well, my partner is this way, that's not ever going to change. And when they change their part of the dance, all of a sudden they're having this fulfilling, completely different relationship with someone that they didn't honestly think was capable of it, but they never owned the bit that they were doing. People that feel stuck in jobs, stuck in circumstances, that all of a sudden when they change their part of the dynamic, well, really great positive change starts to happen. So even if you don't necessarily believe me right now, just know I've had enough life experience my own and front row seats at this process for literally thousands of people. So I want you to think and just trust you've got so much wisdom inside your body. And just remember, it's wisdom that lets you know when things are dissatisfying. So we don't want to block that wisdom or numb it. We want to listen. So right now, tune into your wisdom and think about that situation that you're going to work on, and what are 10 things that you know would start to cultivate change mentally, emotionally, energetically, spiritually in that life area. Now, the disclaimer on this list that I want you to know so that you go into it wholeheartedly is that there is no pressure to do the things on this list. So if you're in a dissatisfying relationship, one of the things on the list might be, well, I could choose to leave. It doesn't mean that you have to do that. I just want you to feel into that there are choices, because when we feel stuck, there's no empowerment in there, and it's very difficult to cultivate genuine gratitude in a situation where you feel stuck. So you might, if you're in a dissatisfying, let's say you're a single parent and your co-parent that you're no longer with is problematic, and you're sort of sitting in this place of it's just going to be awful for the whole rest of my life. One of the things you might come up with is, well, I could write a really heartfelt letter about how we both love our children, and I could invite that person into some sort of mediation process. So it's a different way of thinking about it. It gets you out of them, and into, okay, what can I do to cultivate change? You may choose that you don't have the genuine desire to do that right now, but by cultivating the idea, you're actually stepping into the power that you have to create change. And that's the important bit. So don't think that at the end of this, you're going to have 10 things and I'm going to go, now do it. You know, this is not an American get up on your seat, stand up and say, yeah, kind of thing, where in the break, I'm going to make you do this list. What I'm wanting to help you do is open up your mind to the choices and the power that you have. And just doing that and feeling grateful for your options will begin to create an energetic, mental, emotional shift. So that's what we're after. There is no pressure here. We're just cultivating new ways of thinking. So think about that life area and what you can do to cultivate change. So one of the things in the one-on-one programs that I do, where we really do deep dive into your specific circumstances, a lot of the change that comes out of that is in personal relationships. in people learning new ways to truly honor themselves, communicate respectfully, ask for what they need. So that's kind of, if you're choosing a relationship, start to think about that. Other changes that happen quite often are changes in work or career. And so if that is your situation that you feel stuck in, some of the ideas might be, okay, what could I do? What could I do to start cultivating change? Well, I could have a very different conversation with my boss, or if the relationship with my boss is a bit dysfunctional, I could talk to my boss's boss and just go, okay, I really love this organization. What are my patterns? What are my options for growth here? I want to leave this department. You could have a career conversation with someone in your organization that's high enough up to support you. You could, if you're stuck working in the bank and it feels soulless and you want to be helping people as a healer, well, what could you do? Maybe you could sign up for some training. Maybe you could hire a coach that helps with business startups if you've done the training but you just don't quite have the confidence yet to be doing that full time. So it's just looking, okay, what could I do that would start to cultivate change? Let me be really clear here that what we're looking for are positive changes. So to use a harsh example, let's imagine that you are in an abusive relationship. Yeah, there's many of us on this path of personal development that are in that situation or have been and have now moved out of it. It's not uncommon and you're not alone. If you're in an abusive relationship, one of the ways that you could start cultivating change isn't to make sure that you reduce yourself more and more and more so as to try not to trigger that person. That is trying to cultivate immediate safety, but it's not honoring you in the long term. So what I'm talking about, personal safety is incredibly important, and absolutely keep yourself as safe as you can. But when you're thinking of these 10 things that you could do to start cultivating change, it's about cultivating real life, heart open change. So thinking about that situation that you want to change, honestly, just have that kind of magical moment where you go, well, how would I love it to be? If you would love to be in a relationship where you were free to love and be loved, where you felt like you were partnered with your best friend, where there was mutual respect, you could talk about your feelings, no one had to attack or defend themselves, and it felt really loving, like you could grow in a safe container together, great. What could you do to start making those changes? If you're in a dissatisfying job where it's dissatisfying because the work's not in alignment with your values, or you're not getting paid enough to really feel like you're getting ahead, or you have a problematic relationship with your boss, or whatever it is, think about, okay, well, how would I love it to be? If it could be any way, how would I love it to be? And these 10 things are about, okay, well, what could I do that could start to cultivate change in that area? One of the things you can do is believe that it's possible to have this, because I promise it is. I can't say it like this, but with a shift in mind, body, heart, and soul, I promise it's possible. There's such wisdom inside your being. So take your time. If you haven't got your 10 while you've been listening to me and you haven't done your 10, I want you to take time once we finish, write down these 10 things that you know that you could do that would start to cultivate change. You are welcome to share them with me if you'd like. And then I want you to look at that list. I want you to sit back and look at it with heartfelt gratitude for the power you have in cultivating positive life changes. Just doing one of those things is going to start to cultivate change. One of the things that I like to say to people is, if you today choose something that generates a 1% change, it doesn't have to be a full 90 degrees, just 1% change, in a few years, you end up somewhere different, right? So small changes over time actually make big changes, and they're easier to make, they're less confronting. So I want you to look at that list, love yourself for doing it. It's one thing to listen to these lessons. It's a whole nother thing to follow the worksheets and do do what I'm suggesting, because that's how you get the most out of it. So you can cook a great meal, but it's eating it that actually gives you the nutrients. So it's digesting it and taking it in. So I want you to take it in, write that list, and then look at it and honor and feel so grateful for beautiful you that's got the power and already 10 ideas for how you can start to cultivate change. Please don't ever feel that you are stuck. We're never stuck. We're dynamic, alive, holistic, energetic beings, and our entire body is designed to feel happy. That is why a little baby whose needs are met, so they've got, they've got a clean nappy, they're all cuddled up, they're fed, they've got no signals that they're out of alignment. Those little kids are happy. It is our nature, it is human nature to be happy. And like any mood state other than that is actually pretty damaging for our body. You're designed to be happy, and you have your own innate happiness recipe inside of you. And that wisdom is calling you forth to pay attention and follow your own guidance. So I hope that I've helped you open up to that power and learning to feel grateful in all the ways that I've taught you. Gratitude is an amazing fuel to fuel this vehicle towards that life that you want. It is such a great skill to learn, and it is like learning another language. You've got to learn and practice and learn and practice and learn and practice, and use it as a fuel to move to where you want to be. So I want to thank you so deeply for giving me your time over these 5 lessons. I want you to know that there's a couple of ways that I can help you further. Sometimes when we are doing this work, it actually stimulates, oh, I'm going to need help to change these things, or I don't know how. I get what she's saying. I know that she's saying it's possible, but I don't know how to do that. Now, just like you might feel into your desire and think, oh, I want to learn to play tennis. Well, you might hire a coach to make that journey a little bit shorter. Hire someone that knows how to play tennis to support you and give you those time and body saving skills. You might feel into yourself and go, I really want to learn to speak another language. Well, you hire a teacher and you go along and you practice. And so I am that for your life. I am that coach, I'm that guide, I'm that teacher, and I can help you to know your own innate happiness recipe. I'm not going to teach you my recipe. I'm going to open up the pathways to help you know yours. And we can do that in a couple of ways. I have an 8-week, really small group workshop where we map that everyone is mapping their happiness recipe, and there's lots of coaching and support and guidance with me in all of the weeks so that you get to feel into and know your happiness recipe and begin to implement it. It's like a group coaching, learning experience, and it's always so beautiful. The groups that come together are so beautiful. I have one of those starting on Monday that I've got a few spots still for. And if you're watching the replay of this, months after it was recorded, then just check my website for the happiness recipe workshop, because that's something I've been teaching for years, and it is beautiful, and the content of it is what birthed my book, the second full-length book I've written for the happiness recipe. So just trust me that I know my stuff, and I've been doing this for a while. And there's also the opportunity to work with me one-on-one for that really individualized, longer term pathway to your own heartfelt, soul deep happiness. I know I've needed support along my journey to here, and it is my soul food to offer that support to other people. So I just wanted you to know you don't have to be alone in this. There's support available. Thank you so much for tuning in and for listening. Remember to do the list. It's all on the worksheet. If you can't download the worksheet, just basically the essence of today is write that. Choose a life area, Write down 10 things that you know you could do to start to cultivate change, and feel so grateful for the power that you have and the wisdom that you have. Just gratitude for beautiful, amazing, powerful you, because no one gets to choose your focus. No one can get inside your mind and choose how you choose to see you and your life. You are the only one that can do that. And that is so exciting. So deep, happy, grateful love for you being in my world. And please reach out if you want some support. Reach out and let me know what you got from today. If you're taking any action, what life area. If you've got any questions, tag me in a comment. I'm here to help you as much as I can. So please let me know how you go. Thank you so much. Have a great day.